For more information on our program schedule, visit www.ibc.ng/OrientTV. Orient TV, pride of the East. For more information on
Hello and welcome to IBC Television Personality Program Encounter. This is a program designed to bring to your doorstep notable personalities and their achievements as well as their immense contribution to the society. Today we have a special guest, a man of many parts, a man who believes so much in good governance and democracy that he fought for it. A former frontline student unionist and activist that kicked against military dictatorship under President Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida IBB. He challenged the military government as a student unionist, environmental and human rights activist, as well as fought the federal military government as a human rights campaigner. A federal lawyer who represented over a federal constituency in the House of Reps from 2003 to 2007. He fought against the total ambition of former President Uche, which ensured democracy and good government, which Nigeria is enjoying today. A frontline politician in Imo State. I'm talking of no other personality than the hero of 2019 governorship election in Imo State. I have here in the studio the Secretary of Government of Imo State, Honorable Barrister Onyeagucha. Honorable, you are welcome to Encounter.
Thank you very much.
With me to encounter him today are a crop of journalists. From immediate right is a media consultant in Owerri, Chief Nkwapara. Chief Nkwapara, you are welcome to Encounter.
My pleasure. Yes, you are welcome. Thank you. You're welcome, viewers.
From my extreme right is a reporter with Nigerian Horn newspaper, Mr. Destiny Isiunwa.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
We have
Thank
another.
you for being with us.
We have another journalist on his way. He will soon be here. Ele Abai, the publisher of Newsbreak. As soon as he comes, he will join us. Onyeagucha, during the Udenwa administration, as he was about to leave, he handed over to his successor, Chief Ikedo Hakim, on May 29th. After the ceremony in the field, he went to Government House and did the proper handover. Then at the end of term of Hakim, on May 27th, he invited his successor, Onyeagucha and hand it over to him properly. Then, now that this government has taken over, we were told that no proper handover, and when there was pressure, some people came to our office and handed the piece of paper in the name of handover. Could you please tell us what exactly happened? What is the situation in the state?
Well, I would say that I was not surprised that Senator Onyeagucha refused to hand over as governor of Imo State. The truth remains that he so messed up the state that the only option left for him was for him to run away, because he feared he was going to have been arrested by either the FCC or ICPC. And the alternative he had was to keep out of the state and go underground and stay there to monitor the security and anti-corruption agencies. As it is a fact that he refused to hand over, and it is a fact that no handover ceremony occurred. Actually, it was only after about 2 weeks of the swearing in of Governor Meki Edioha that his principal secretary came to my office as the secretary to the government with the head of service, Mrs. Alma Eluma, and they said they were coming to do a handover. And I asked them, what is this? They came with about 2 bundles of documents which they presented to me. Of course, Eluma was just head of service, and Emeka Duru was the principal secretary to the governor. Mark Uche was not there, and if they were serious about any handover, considering they wanted to present the documents to me, the appropriate person to have presented the documents to me should have been Mark Uche, who was the outgone secretary to the government. All the same, for whatever it was worth, I received the 2 bundles of documents which they presented to me, and it is still lying on the shelf there, because as I scrutinized it, we found that it is a worthless collection. They were busy enumerating a lot of the bogus and dubious projects which they purported to have executed within the period they were in office. Projects that didn't exist, and the projects that were halfway done, and projects that they needed to showcase for the purpose of justifying the ruin they visited on the Imo State economy. So the documents are there for anybody to see any time of the day.
Sorry, can I come in there? Are you telling us in all sincerity that there was nothing to talk about in terms of the cash which is allegedly left behind? Was there anything about
how much money that was left?
Yes.
Of course, they couldn't say such a thing, because the person who was doing this presentation to me of the so-called handover document was the principal secretary, who claimed total ignorance as to what happened. He said he was giving these documents to present to me when I take over as secretary to the government. And then I asked him, what about his the outgone secretary to the government, Mark Uche? And he said that was the instruction he was given. So there was no narrative. It was just, I have had the privilege of being directed to present these documents to you as part of the programs and investments of our government. And I will wish you can take it as a kind of handover note. The documents are still there, and we are ready to show it to the world anytime, any day the world is willing to see them.
Exactly, sorry, there. Exactly where I was going to. Is there any likelihood that government can make this available to people so that it doesn't look as if it's a one-side show? And if more eyes see these documents, they'll now be in a better position to throw the line of thought you have been exposing.
The general public and the media are welcome to come to my office on any day of their choice, and I will show them the document that was presented to me in the name of a handover, so that they can also glance through it.
Okay, in our last discussion last time, we had a guest here, and the guest was meaning saying that what was given to you was just like what you're saying, and some of us try to debunk it by saying that based on who you are, we are aware that you are learned, your personality must always a reference to in the state here when it comes to politics, that you couldn't have accepted anything that is not worth accepting. So we are asking, why do you choose to play it that way? Because we have always known that you are one of the people that you must find out what you are being given to.
Of course, we know they have failed the handover process. The handover process was supposed to have occurred on May 28th. And that should have been from the governor that was leaving to the governor that was coming in. Of course, anything about finance could have also been presented and handed over to us equally. But Etelba Okorocha at no point was willing to do any of that. The last time we had the opportunity of having any interaction with him was the meeting of the inauguration committee, which we had at the Simon Bakwe Expanded Executive Office in the government house. And at that meeting, all they were interested in was to make arrangement for us to follow them to go around and see the projects that they have executed in Imo State. And we said we were here to discuss with them about the inauguration ceremony, which will come up on May 29. And they were not interested in the inauguration ceremony. They refused to make available not even 1 naira for the inauguration ceremony. So everything about the inauguration, they actually wanted it to fail. They first had the impression that they were interested in providing some funds because it is the outgoing government that actually should provide money from government coffers to sponsor the inauguration ceremony. So they led us into believing that they had set aside about 250 million and that they were going to deliver it to us at some appropriate time, and we kept waiting. And then I think about 10 days to the event proper, when they refused and it became obvious to us that we wanted it to fail, and they were not prepared to hand over anything, the Onyeagucha administration decided to take its own practical steps to generate funds from where they could and proceed with the inauguration. So we had an inauguration without a single input from the Okorocha administration.
Let's go a little away from this. We had the 100 days, and we have also had several government functionaries talking about these 100 days. Let us now look ahead. What will Imo people expect from this government in the next 100 days or more?
I would say in the days to come.
The days to come.
Yes. What the people of Imo State and the residents should expect from the Emeka Onyeagucha administration is good governance, transparency, due process in governance, rule of law, and commitment of the government to the people of Imo State. In terms of projects, they will be real and practical. You will know which company has been awarded a particular project or the other, how much the project is worth for, how long the project will take to be executed, when are they moving into site, when are they going to commence their work, and the specifics that are expected to be known in a proper administration. In where you have a road project, contractors are going to mount their signboard to advertise everything about the project, so that you will know who is constructing those projects. And if you go on site, you will also see that the constructing equipment belong actually to the company that is in the field doing the projects. And if in any way your right is infringed, you can go to court to sue for justice, as is required in any proper system. So we are hoping and we are certain that the people of Imo State will be witnessing a true governance process being put in place where integrity and transparency will be the watchword.
You just mentioned about roads. In fact, there are no good roads in this state. Even people coming to us for programs are delayed because of bad road. And then this is giving us serious concern. What are the plans of the government to make sure that movable roads?
In fact, sorry, SGI. Added to this, that tunnel that leads to the House of Assembly, if you go on top of it, it's already clean. So will government still allow vehicles to keep running on that tunnel, or are there plans to either amend or divert traffic to avert possible disaster at that point?
Well, the truth is that virtually all the Okorocha projects which we have conducted integrity tests on have failed the integrity test. Whether it is a flyover at Uche, or whether it is most of the housing complex projects, most of them are collapsing. Most of them have cracked beyond repairs. And what we are doing is to identify the ones that pose real serious danger and begin to stop them from being used. A couple of them have been stopped from being used by the citizens, and as many other ones, as we carry out this integrity test and they fail it and we confirm that they pose serious danger to the public, will also be shut down until appropriate steps are taken to make it safe afterwards. So that is our attitude.
Okay, we are aware that as of last week, before the celebration of the 100 days of excellency that we were making here in the office, he flagged up some groups in states, particularly those one in the bad shape, like that of Naze, Poli Nekede, and Ihiagwa, Sofuto. But there is a major problem among the people of Ihiagwa and Obin. That is the bridge that was connected to the road, have totally it has cut into two. Did the budget of the government also extended to that very project?
Oh, certainly, yes. The budget will extend to that bridge, because the road without the bridge will be incomplete. You won't be able to pass to the other end of the road. So definitely all that is being captured. However, it is one of the numerous bridges that have already been threatened. Of course, the deeper life passing through the old Nekede road to Nekede Zoo Bridge is already been closed down because it's no longer passable. That we have already shut down completely. Of course, if you go to Umuchima, going on the way to Idato South, the government of origin of Governor Telba Okorocha, half of the bridges already collapsed, and the remaining half is mostly being threatened. But we are doing everything to manage and ameliorate it so that the second half will not be cut off completely. Because if that happens, that will mean that access to two local governments in Imo State would have been completely lost. And the two local governments are Idato South and Idato North. And the people of Idato South and Idato North do not deserve the kind of recklessness that they witnessed in the hands of Governor Telba Okorocha in the last 8 years. If you may recall, they didn't have access to electricity because they were severed from the national grid for the 8 years that Governor Telba Okorocha was in government. minding the fact that he is one of their sons and coming from the Dato South. And then if you come further close to Njaba, you will notice that the Njaba Bridge is threatened from both sides, coming from Owe and then coming from Olo. The threat is very heavy, and we are also looking at how to ameliorate it so that it will completely cave in. So we have several of these examples because, as you know, most of these bridges were not built by any known qualified engineers. There was only one engineer who was in charge of the project, and that was Telbert Okorocha himself. And that is the reason why you have on record that all these projects were awarded to one company called The Great Nigeria Limited, which The Great Nigeria Limited claimed the address was 5 Ubele Street, Idato South. Of course, Idato South is not a known town. It is a local government area, to show you how dubious the whole exercise was. And we have recently uncovered the name and face of the managing director of The Great Nigeria Limited. And you could see that he's anything close to being a civil engineer or head of such a reputable construction firm that should have been given that kind of job. His name is Stanley. And Stanley is actually the young man who, for the 8 years that Telbert Okorocha was in government, was personal assistant to the principal secretary to Telbert Okorocha, Dr. Pascal Obi. So that is the person who they used his face and name to make all the claim about who the managing director of Nigeria Limited actually is. I have it on my phone. I can show you if you have time, so that I'm sure all of you, once I open the picture, you will know the person I'm talking about. So we were actually deceived for the last 8 years because these contracts were actually done by only one person, and that is Telbert Okorocha himself. And it was only when it dawned on him that they had lost the second election of his third-time project, which is the election of Uche, that he decided to start concocting those documents to make up for the fund of the state, which he could account for.
Now, I actually, when I raised the issue of the way, our looking forward, I am tempted to ask the question. I know when Senator Okorocha, now Senator Okorocha, came on board, you were part of those who supported him. And one wonders what really went wrong. So even if it is for 2 seconds or 2 minutes, can you refresh our minds? What really went wrong?
Okay, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Telbert Okorocha ran for governor of Imo State in 2011. If you may recall, I was not one of his supporters and was not a member of his party. He ran under the platform of APGA, while I was then running for Senate under the platform of Action Congress of Nigeria, supporting Senator Ifeanyi Ararume for governor. I never supported him in 2011 ambition. And after that election was all over, the biggest party after the PDP those days, the Action Congress of Nigeria, decided to float a merger arrangement. ACN, as it was then called, reached out to APP, CPD, and some other parties and pleaded with them that they should all come together to form a new party. It was that arrangement that gave birth in 2013, late 2013, to the birth of the All Progressives Congress. The All Progressive Congress comprised of CN as the biggest party, CPC, and MPP. I happen to have been the national officer of the ACN. I was the national welfare officer. And in the ACN platform, I moved the motion that we should merge with other political parties to produce a big party with which we could go into the contest against PDP in the 2015 elections. It would have been unfair to me after proposing the merger and the merger occurred for me then to walk out of the APC, because I played a very serious role that led to the merger. Etelba Okorocha is a member of APGA, but his party refused to join the APC, while he, as an individual, a city governor, decided to be part of that merger. So he didn't come with his party, while I came with the ACN. So the truth remains that the parties having fused together, and Etelba Okorocha coming without the party and joining the process, I was left with no other option than to be with him under the same umbrella, because people keep misconceiving this to think that I was with him. I was with him. I've never joined him, but I was compelled by the merger arrangement of my political party and the CPC and the AMPP, which Etelba Okorocha came to join as an individual. Having come together and we having set up a party, we now became members of the party called APC. Because sometimes when I listen to him talk about the party he formed, how did he have formed the APC? He was a late entrant. He wasn't part of the agreement that formed it. Because after he had had this arrangement that come into place, he decided to be part of it. So, toward the end of 2013, after we joined together as a party, I was invited by Governor Etelba Okorocha to be one of the advisors on policy and strategy. Well, it's either I am in of it or I am out. I accepted to be his special advisor on policy and strategy. And I served from that period till October 2014, when I set out to contest for Owerri Electoral Zone seat of the APC, which I actually won. So I was with him for about 1 year, and I went into that race at the end of the election. I wasn't successful, so I also remained in the party. But it became obvious along the way that I could no longer continue with him, knowing how much he sabotaged the party and how much he did everything to stop members of the party whom he felt had chances of lifting the party across the southeast. Good examples were Gige, who ran for governor in Anambra State. At the time he was pretending to support Gige to clinch the governorship seat in Anambra. He was actually sabotaging him. At the time, he pretended to be supporting Osita Izuna for the Olu senatorial zone seat of the APC. He was actually sabotaging him. At the time, he claimed to have been supporting me for the Owerri electoral zone seat. He was actually sabotaging me. So if you look at the real history of what happened to APC in the southeast, there is one factor that destroyed APC in the southeast, and that is Etelba Okorocha, because he wanted everybody down. He wanted to be the last man standing, because he feared that any other person who is successful in the party would possibly outshine him or make it impossible for him to have emerged as the sole person who should be governorship presidential candidate of the APC in the future. That is the reason why he fought against practically everybody. He fought against Ngige, he fought against Obuneonu, he fought against Inaso, he fought against myself and the entire party leadership and structure. And by the time he finished and weakened the party, he actually drove out that Achike from the party. If you may recall, Achike was with us in the ACN, and and we were moving with him into APC until Etelba Tokorotcha frustrated the process through his different attitude of antagonism and making sure that anybody who was successful or a prominent politician was denied opportunity of getting a pride of place in the party. So that is the story of how I was able to meet with him of APC, and that is the story of how when I felt that this is just a in charge of Igbo State, plunging the state into ruins, I felt I had no other option than to get out of the party and pick up the gauntlet and declare total campaign to stop him from continuing to run the roughshots on Imo State.
Okay. Let me come in here. I have been privileged to cover some occasions you are involved, especially where you tendered approaches to Imolite, in particular its resident, Imo State. As regards to your involvement in the development of Okorocha in 2015, could you tell us what you might have first into these apologies to Imo State, especially in the gathering of Apuga and PDP?
Yes. If you play a prominent role in the emergence of any character like Etelba Tokorotcha, you should be very ashamed of yourself if you are an honest, disciplined person. I was totally ashamed that I played a role in allowing the seat to hold sway in Imo State, because we saw the signs, but we didn't get the message. Because in those days, what he used as a weapon to hold and deceive the people of Imo State was his Christian song and his claim to be a good Christian. Because in those days, he would come out singing, "My helper, oh, my helper, you delivered me," and people bought it like nonsense. And when he wasn't singing "My helper," he will be signaling his wife, who will come up to start singing "Ezim, Ezim, Ezim." And these were songs that are very sentimental and emotional. It drove a lot of people close to tears, and people thought it was genuine until they started seeing signs of megalomania when he started anointing people in the government house chapel. But some of us saw it enough, and we felt that it was high time we get the out of the place. So I decided to work on him and declare war against him, and I had opportunity to attend a good program organized by the Uche. I think that was in 2017, May 23rd or thereabout. They were having the Uche week, and I was given the opportunity of speaking. And I used that opportunity to point out that the only agenda of the Etelba Tokorotcha administration was to first Uche and the people of Imo State. I said it more than 2 years ahead of the event, and I warned the people of Imo State against it, because I saw that it was his intention to run for third term in office, hiding at the back of Uche. And I felt the people of Imo State need be warned. Beyond warning them, I felt I should be the champion of the fight against Etelba Tokorotcha, being that I played a role in this emergence. Now, one of the things that people didn't understand was that when I took the battles to him, behind the scene, he was coming to meet me repeatedly. He approached Chief Emeka to bring the two of us together, that he was willing to negotiate with me, he was willing to offer me contracts, and he was willing to allow me to nominate who should be the deputy governor to Uche, and I should just say whatever I wanted. But I outrightly refused to have meetings with him, even though he made several serious attempts to have meetings with me. And I would people to witness that they were calling me repeatedly. But in front of camera, he would be telling people and boasting at that time that he would deal with me, he would crush me, he would do this and that. But I know he's just a weakling. He's just somebody who felt he had gathered enough of the monies of the state and could do whatever he wanted with it. In fact, on one of the last occasions I worked before I went out on him, he invited me to tell me he had set aside about 4 billion naira for the 2019 election, and that he was going to spend on it and more. And he didn't know of anybody in Imo State who has the capacity to challenge challenge him, not to talk of somebody from Owerri. But when I reminded him that it's not all about money, he said that I didn't know politics. So it is good we allowed him to spend as much money as he felt he had grabbed from Imo State and found out that couldn't deliver him.
Let us go into another aspect.
Yes.
Because this government came in with all good intentions, and then we found out that the major problem is form and then accountability, transparency. The government now came up with 3 single account.
TSA.
So I would like you to explain to the people of the state what TSA is all about.
Okay. By the time Making administration came into government, Imo State government had over 250 bank accounts. Some banks, even in one branch of a bank, it is that they had up to 15, 20 something accounts. All this was crazy, and there was need for some discipline in the fiscal accountability process. So the Ihedeo administration invited one of the most eminent Nigerians who happened to be an Imo son to head a financial administration committee. That committee was headed no other than Abraham Okwo, who also was the person in charge of the debt management of Nigeria for many years. And after too many investigations, Abraham Okwo's committee recommended that the government should go in that direction of streamlining things and ensuring that there is transparency and accountability, and the Indian administration to it. And Their Excellency, Honorable Emeki didn't waste time to bring about an executive order that caused the introduction of the single treasury account, which now means that you couldn't have all those accounts. All those 250 accounts or more were all scrapped, and each ministry of MDA was only allowed to have one account, and that one account that they use in receiving all the IGR. At the end of every day, all the monies received into that account will be swooped into a central account that belongs to the state, so that the state will tell exactly how much money it has, where it is, who was in charge. Because before then, you had to, like, you could go to any of the places and then you have IMS1, IMS2, IMSD chieftaincy, IMSD governor's wife, IMSG, different funny names. So all these things no longer exist. They have been scrapped. So the people of Imo State can now say we have this number of MDAs, and this number of MDAs have this number of accounts, and accounts can be traced. And at the end of the day, any money that gathered there will empty into the single treasury accounting system, so that you can effectively say, this is how much money the government has. That's exactly what
Okay, the SGI. See, we are out there and we listen to the people. We are close to the people, and we hear a lot of things they say. Currently, there is this insinuation or belief that some of the people in the governor's team are not necessarily supporting the agenda, and that this is why certain pronouncements or acts keep repeating itself. Only yesterday they talked about plans to change the color of taxi in town. One will want to know whether this is government policy, because apart from that, there have been doubts that have been milking people here and there at the time they act. It is believed to have come from the government. What exactly is the situation? Is government planning to change colors, or does government have doubts or task forces milking people in the society. Let's get this thing clear.
Well, let me be very honest with you. Under the administration of Etelba to Uche, so much ruin was visited on the state, so much corruption. It was obvious that people on top were stealing, the people at the middle were stealing, so that out was also stealing. So there were no barricades to stop thieves because everybody was just stealing. Now, it is not easy to wipe away this process. If you go out there on the street, there are too many people who have printed all manner of tickets because we were used to it. Because before now, some were accounting to Gerald Okorocha, the other ones were accounting to Gerald Okorocha, the other one accounting to Rochas's wife, the other ones were accounting to his younger brother, and the other ones to himself. So some of them have continued in this light, and we are still taking time to identify them and grab them. But I believe that in order for us to move forward, we must streamline our. The introduction of Bossimo and the Bossimo colors were well thought out. And we have looked at it, and there is a discussion in the direction of having something that will not be properly designed to give the state a new look. So there are discussions in the direction of having a new comprehensive taxi color for the state. But it is not going to be done in the way and manner it was done in the past. Maybe you now say everybody must go to this particular place and everybody will be charged this particular amount to pay their taxes. We will find exactly what it costs for people to have their taxes to be painted the regular basis in every carpenter shop. And then something in that direction will be done to ensure and organize some measure of uniformity. The team of Okorocha love to take advantage of social media to generate some false information. Entitled to it is freedom of expression. They can afford to enjoy it now because when they were in charge, they were wanting every other person. Like I heard in recent time, they say that I should apologize over the incident of the order of arrest on him. I maintain my position that Etelba Okorocha is still a wanted person in Imo State, and there is citizen arrest on Etelba Okorocha, and wherever he is cited, be it in Oboko, be it in Idato South or not, anywhere in Imo State, because he's becoming a nuisance. He actually should be in prison. He actually should be tried by anti-corruption agencies. It's not in doubt that if we see him constituting himself a nuisance anywhere in Imo State, he will be arrested and dealt with. Because he has turned his house into a garden for cultists, hoodlums who come out from time to time to attack people on the street. And we're not going to allow anybody to create their own enclave of criminal activity in the state, because that house must be open for the people of Imo State to be sure that all the kidnapping that is been happening in recent times are not plotted and organized from there. So when they say all these things about taxes and this, it's still there are people that are organizing some of these criminal activities. Because you know it takes time to dislodge criminal gangs even after taking over power.
Okay, let me also check one of my, taking to another discussion. That this also insinuates that the removal of some of this iron the previous government of China using beautifying states at the instance of your directive, they are being sent to your company for reformation and the rest of it.
Okay, let us assume, without considering that it's true, go to Boko in front of Etelba Okorocha's house. He took some of these to decorate the road that led to his house. Those ones that have fallen there and are lying on the roads, who dislocated those ones? Is it me or is it our administration?
Or your company?
Or my company. If there is anybody who has need to grab all those metal and maybe configure them and make some money out of it, it is Etelba Okorocha. What we avoided accidents that have been designed to happen, and you have witnessed in several routes, along several routes, that the pillars made with block, whenever each one of them was hit by any of the car rocks, that those iron frames fell off and wounded individuals who be under those points at material time, or even people's cars. So we didn't want these accidents to continue to occur repeatedly. The only way out was to remove them. And anyway, we need to point out that because he was so cited, he didn't understand that the implication of creating those areas meant that there were no plans to have huge projects in the state. Because if you have any serious project in Imo State for which you need to bring a crane to come and carry out the project, there is no way your crane will pass under this iron bars. So we have a big plan for the state, and these plans include that big projects will be executed, which big projects will require big construction equipment that we need to pass through those areas. We're not going to wait until the day the equipment machinery are going to come before we can start dismantling. So we felt the most reasonable thing is to get rid of the news that's really enough to allow the state to move forward.
Right. Let's now go to the human infrastructure. I am looking at citizenry, the workers, the pensioners. I can confirm that workers started taking 100%.
Yes.
Then secondly, the pension. How far so far?
I want to I understand that some parastatals we have to be given 8% instead of 100%.
The directive is for everybody to be given 100%, and it's in writing. What we stand with now is working hard to generate revenue to ensure that this is done. Because what has happened to Imo State is that in the last 8 years, so much money was borrowed, we were left with so much indebtedness that by the time we receive our allocation from the federal government and the deductions that are taken away from the bank charges for all the loans that we're taking,
and the garnish.
Yes, and the garnish. What you're going to have is going to be less than 300 million naira. You can't execute any project with it. But we feel Imo workers are entitled to their salary to the tune of 100%. So we are going to have to work hard night and day to raise their money, pay them. And that will require a lot of effort. That's why we are reorganizing every system to ensure that every revenue that comes into the state goes into the state company, rather than being pilfered here and there. But I also should point out that the people of Imo State will be asking, if the state allocation in the month is about 14 billion, how come Delbert Okorocha used 10 billion naira to build the so-called police headquarters, federal government project? It's a big concern to each and every one of us. That's why when I hear that he's passing out, trying to pass out the city, I get very angry, because you can't take more than 2 months allocation to build a federal government project that is of no consequence, because at that time there is nothing wrong with the police headquarters, and even the project he has built, which he brought the president to commission, the police have refused to move to it because it is breaking apart. The rules are not getting off. Even the prison he claims to have built our state fund, another federal government project, the Nigerian prisons are very difficult to move into the business to use it. So there is every need for every citizen to be angry that this fellow was so audacious to abuse us in the way he did should not come around and be putting his dirty fingers into our eyes just because he had opportunity of stealing votes and stealing a result to the low senatorial election.
Okay, let me use the opportunity to ask you. It seems that the present administration has no synergy with the security act. Considering the only drama that occurred between the recovery committee of the building administration and the boys of or the boys or who are the alleged boys of Senator Onyeagucha?
No, that is wrong. They have compiled the list of all the boys who participated in that act because they did it of themselves. You know, gangsters never know when they expose themselves. Their lists have been based on the video evidence they did, and it's been submitted to the police, and all of them declared wanted. I'm sure whenever each and every one of them is arrested, such ones will be detained and prosecuted in accordance with them. We still believe that the police will do the thing they ought to do. We still believe that the law will be dictated on them.
What is holding public water supply in this municipality?
Thank you very much for this question, because for 8 years or more, nobody or in Imo State had access to public water supply. So when we came in, we felt we should restore it. But the Emeki Edion administration made it a project to implement, and we did have more delays. After about 3 weeks of work, the water was reactivated. The Greater Water Project was reactivated. But if you recall, Onyeagucha felt that he needed to expand the roads in Imo State, in a way in particular. And the people should know the real reason why he expanded the roads. I once had a meeting with him, and in that meeting he said to me, he was angry that I didn't know what was up with him. He said to me, each time I talk about my achievements in Imo State, people will be talking about Mbakwe. Everywhere I go, Mbakwe. What is it? What is this thing that Mbakwe even did? After all, the only thing that I know that Mbakwe did is that he built Douglas and Wedra Road. But just destroy it and rebuild it. Just destroy those 2 roads and rebuild them. And he actually destroyed the 2 roads and messed it all up. So his understanding of road extension was to take the gutter close to the fence of every house, forgetting that the space left from the gutter to the back of anybody's house is called utility. That utility lane, you put pipe and water, telephone lines, electricity lines, and any of these facilities that belong to the public. So when water was released from the Greater Water Scheme, we found that all the pipe which he excavated and he was doing his so-called road expansion project, he never did that to reconnect. So the water got to those points and they were all spin out from the middle of the road because the pipes were destroyed. So he has caused a major damage. So we now have a responsibility to search out where these pipes have been broken for and those pipes and see whether they can be connected, because that's the only thing that's making it impossible for the water scheme to form. Without it, there should have been water running in everybody's house. So part of what we're doing is to identify those areas where possibly such damages have not been caused in a huge size and reconnect them so that people in those areas will begin to enjoy water supply. But there are areas that are so difficult because these are areas where he practically dug out the pipes and threw them in. For you to restore water in those areas, you have to dig up the roots, buy new pipes, reconnect the pipes, and bring the gutters where they were originally, because you still restore that utility lane. As it is now, there are no spaces where he stopped his gutter and proposed fences. You can't even do phone lines, you can't even do water lines, you can't do electricity projects because there's no place for people to do it. You don't understand the level of pain that the people to coach have visited. So they have to break down those things he did, do the thing again, and restore them back to how it should be in a civilized society, which he came to obstruct.
I want to thank you for spending time with us in the program. The time is no longer on our side. I think we have a day here. It's a wonderful opportunity interacting with the Secretary to the Governor of Imo State, Honorable Onyeagucha. Onyeagucha, thank you for being a part of this program and welcome.
Thank you very much.
I also want to thank my journalists who joined me in this program. By my immediate right, Chief Chiden Kwapara, a media consultant. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. Yes, thank you for being there for us.
We have a wonderful reporter in the state and a staff of National Nigeria Horn.
Thank you very much. Thank you, viewers, for being.
For me,